So, barbecue sauce. It's not that hard to make your own, and it's very rewarding, and you can also use whatever flavor profile you like the best. So this is a barbecue sauce I've been making for quite some time now, and I've got the recipe to where I like it, and it's called Rockin sauce. There you go. So we're starting with 2 cans of tomato sauce.
Those are how many ounces?
Some kind of a quality is good. These are 29 ounces. Now I have made this with just fresh tomatoes before, and you have to peel them and seed them, and it was a lot of effort and a lot of cost for very little gain. So you can do that, and it's kind of fun. It's a huge project if you do it that way. But I'm just going to dump 2 of these cans right into our pot. And that will be the start. You know, I've seen a lot of barbecue sauce recipes that call for ketchup. And I just, if you can just use tomatoes, I think it's a lot better than using ketchup. So what I have here is a cup of molasses. And this is going to help give this the nice dark color that we like to see in a barbecue sauce. And yeah, molasses. Sticky stuff, but wonderful. And I have a 1/2 cup of dark corn syrup. Again, looking for that nice dark color. Who wants a barbecue sauce that just looks like ketchup, huh? And I have a 1/4 cup of vinegar.
White vinegar?
White vinegar. I suppose you could use any kind of vinegar that suits your fancy. And for a little more sweetener, as if we didn't have enough, a 1/2 cup of brown sugar. Okay, so that gets our sweet. Now, for sour, we have, this is 50 grams of tamarind. You can buy tamarind pods, which is what we did, and we froze it in chunks that are the right size for this because it's one of the few things I use tamarind for. Tamarind,
it comes in a big block.
It does, and
yeah.
It's a very sticky. It's a fruit that's really sour tasting. So yeah, and it's really sticky, and it's a cool ingredient. And then juice of 1 lemon, and my juicer is almost big enough for this lemon.
Gotta put your back into it.
And that'll give us our sour component here. Okay. And then we have a 1/2 teaspoon of dry mustard, and I'm going to go a little liberal, half there, and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and then we want some spice. And I have here a cup of fresh horseradish. So you can buy a horseradish root at places like the Co-op, or a lot of stores have them, and grind it up yourself, which is what I recommend. I grow the horseradish, so we always have a good supply of the stuff. If you decide to grind your own, consider doing it outside, because it's very, very fumy. And I have here 1 dried Serrano, and these dried Serranos they're a different type than the green ones you get in the store. Um, these are really hot, hotter than these. So now I do have 4 fresh ones. 2 of these we got from a store, and 2 of them are from our greenhouse.
Tell the difference.
First 2 Serranos this year. The dark ones are the homegrowns. So I'm just going to chop this up. We're going to hit all this with the immersion blender later, so it's it doesn't really matter what size pieces these are. I just want them to blend up well. And that is everything that's going into this barbecue sauce. Now I'm going to cook this at a slow simmer for about 3 hours, and then I'm going to blend it all up, and then we're going to put it in jars and can it. And we will have another year's supply of lovely barbecue sauce. Okay, so we'll get that cooking, and we'll see you later. I forgot, you're going to want about 4 cloves of garlic all chopped up in this thing too. Don't want to forget the garlic. Okay, so our stuff has been cooking now for 2.5 hours. That should be sufficient. And we are going to use the immersion blender on it.
I can't see very good. That's light enough.
Now, immersion blender, if you don't have an immersion blender, this is actually the first time I've used this tool for this job. Usually I just put it in the blender, but dealing with a lot of hot stuff in the blender is pretty tricky. So this should work out much better as long as I get everything done. And I don't see why I wouldn't.
I kind of forgot about using that tool for a long time.
And you do want a pretty deep pot when you use this tool because it tends to splash a bit. So yeah, this doesn't necessarily have to be a very expensive tool either. I really love using the immersion blender. It's just saves a lot from having to transfer everything into a blender and back out.
Well, and you have to do that in batches usually, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
So it's much better.
And I can see that there's still a little bit of lumpage in here. Not much. Yeah, it looks nice and smooth now. So there we have that, and now we will go to the canning part of our barbecue sauce. All right, so we've come to the canning part of things. This is something that we always do together.
We do it together. It's just easier. And this is really an important tool for canning. It gets the stuff in without slopping all over the top. I wash the jars and sterilize the lids and rings.
There we go. Okay, so last jar, this really did come out nice and smooth with the immersion blender. I'm very, very pleased with the product. This makes approximately 10 jars. It looks like we're going to get almost 11 out of this.
Oh, too late. We'll just put it in the fridge.
Put it in something for the fridge.
Put it on the pizza today. See if I can reach any. Is it this much?
Yeah, it's more than that.
Oh, let's use that. That's about half a cup. Here.
Well, but that's not all of it.
Close enough. The government. I can't get to the other jars. That'll be fine.
All right. We'll call that good. So these jars are going to sit in a hot water bath for 40 minutes. And then they'll come out and all the lids will pop and everything will be fine. So, thanks for watching Two Cooks in the Kitchen, and we'll see you next time.